everybody, and welcome back to Sanctum Stitching, where modern meets vintage. I'm Fawn.
I'm Marianne.
And I'm Shawn.
And as I say every single week, we are so excited to have you here. If you're new, if you're rejoining us, welcome. This is a channel about cross stitch, embroidery, basically anything you can do with a needle. We're going to try it, or we have tried it, and we're just really excited about it. So today is episode 16 on August 16th, which we finally got it. I'm so excited.
Ta-da!
Yep. So we have quite a bit for you today. We missed last week, but we're back. And I'm not sure quite the cadence we're going to have moving forward. It might be a little sporadic as we go into the holidays and a little bit of traveling, but social distancing that's going to happen. So just hit the notification bell, and then you won't miss a video if we post off our schedule a little bit.
Right. That's right.
So, Marianne, what are you celebrating today?
Well, I will say today is my brother's birthday, one of my brothers. I'm sure he's celebrating. Yeah. Brother Jack, he lives in Georgia, and he with his family, and he will be he's 67 today.
Wow.
So there you go. And I'm celebrating, let's see, we're going to get cooler weather. We have a threat of storms out there this morning. We've had thunder rumbling. And so I'm just feeling good that we're getting some rain so some of the crops can get the water they need, and my garden can get a little bit of, the blackberries can get some water. And that I went for a beautiful walk at the botanical garden on Wednesday and Friday, and took some pictures on Friday. So I'm celebrating just being able to be out. I'm taking over Shawn's thing about being out in the outdoors. It was nice. It was a lovely day. So
Yeah,
there you go.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're out in the country right now, and it probably poured for a good 2 hours straight. Yeah. Lots of lightning, lots of thunder. So we were over in the corner there stitching in 2 recliner chairs, just watching it rain. And Wally was in the bay window, which he doesn't have a bay window at home. So everybody was really happy.
Very happy.
So what are you celebrating?
I'm celebrating coffee this morning. Simple. I just haven't had much sleep lately, so I'm having coffee this morning. So I'm grateful for the fact that, again, I can listen to the rain while having coffee and doing a little bit of stitching. So that's what I'm celebrating this morning.
He's probably going to run away and take a nap as soon as we're done filming.
That's okay. That's okay.
I have a couple celebrations since we haven't been on here in a little bit. I got a new computer, which is what we're filming on today. So hopefully after 10 years, this new computer choice is really good for us. Fingers crossed, so far it's been good. I'm also celebrating that I finally got to play the Nancy Drew game, which is sort of the reason I got this computer, was so I could play this single game. Nancy Drew, obviously, I'm sure everybody knows that, but their game series, they've had maybe over 20 different computer games. And the newest one came out a year ago, but they changed their format, so my 10-year-old computer couldn't play it. And nobody else I knew had a computer for me to play this game. So a year later, I finally got to play it. And my last celebration is that when Shawn and I went hiking one day, I heard Wally meow. He's about to come up.
He's about to
It's okay.
Hi, buddy.
Hey, Wally.
Yeah. When we were hiking, we stopped at this little country mart way, way out. And they had the Arizona iced tea, which has been discontinued. So if you didn't know, Raspberry Arizona and Peach Arizona in the tall cans has been discontinued. So Shawn and I stopped in there to get a drink. I saw them, and he came around the corner, and I am holding every single Arizona can that they had left. It was so cold. I'm like piling them in my arms. I almost dropped them, which since they're discontinued, I was very upset that I almost dropped them. And he turns around, and there I am with the biggest smile on my face, just like, you're going to buy these, right?
My question would be, how did you get them all back to the car? Were you still walking around, or were you in the car by this time?
Oh, no. They did have a bag, but until we got to the counter, I wouldn't let them go. So he's like, let me take them on so you don't have to hold them all. I was like, no, I've got them. They're here.
Death grip.
So that was really fun. I think I have 2 cans left, so I'm starting to go downhill a little bit, a little sad, but maybe we'll go check out some country marts and see if we can find them.
Yeah.
So anyway, stitching. Does anybody have any whips this week? I know I have quite a few.
I have my one that I've been working on, if you want to see it. This is the Honeybee Hill.
Oh,
I now have one beehive is done right
I
here.
love the beehive.
Yeah.
I added some more green last night and down around here a little bit. So it's been fun. I can't tell you, I stitched this part, I think, several times. I mentioned that last week, but I was bound and determined to get this beehive, this one done before today. So I was up,
Good.
I finished it up last night while watching Major Crimes reruns. So there it is.
I listened to the podcast Criminal, which if you like crime stuff, that is very, very good. It's not all just like murders and things. It's other crimes like financial crimes. Some guy that had the trash pile up and he created a Buddha statue. That I'll have to send that one to you. It's really interesting.
Okay.
But yeah, you got really far with that.
Yeah, I did. Ta-da. I don't have a bell to ring, so I'll go da-da.
Shawn, you don't have a whip this week.
I do not.
Why don't you have a whip this week?
Because I like to procrastinate.
No,
Thought
because
you
have
said
a
he just
finish.
put-
But I do have a finish, yes.
So let's show that in the new
Okay.
starts. So I have been working on the Inspiration Snail, so Inspirations magazine out of Australia. So this is the pictures magazine, and I've been working on the French knots, which there are probably like 2,000 of them. So this is where I'm at so far. You can see
Okay,
my
hold it.
outline.
Bring it a little closer.
And
Oh,
there-
very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it wants you to use like 10 different color greens. And so what I've been doing is lacing 2 strands together of just random color greens. And so it's creating this really nice,
That's pretty.
sort of uneven look, but I really like it because it helps me to be more random about the colors. Whereas if I was just using the one, it would be really hard to get it spread out where it looks more natural. So I'm really
I think
excited about this.
that's a good idea, Fawn. Good idea.
Yeah. So if you're having a hard time being random, just lace some different colors together. I also worked on Grimm's Fairy Tale, and I finished the month of August. So this is by Cloudsfactory.
Okay.
And so we have Sleeping Beauty, we have the cat on her lap, some Quaker motifs, the prince, and this one's stitched up really, really fast. I think it's because it was just basically the 2 vines in the bed, and once you had those done, it wasn't a lot of switching colors.
Okay.
Whereas in some of these, it's like constantly switching. So here's the whole piece so far.
Mm,
We're getting there.
very nice.
You can see all my hoop marks.
Very nice.
Yeah, so this is really fun. I've decided I'm going to make it into a pillow. So we have some really old pillows on our couch that have just like made its way from college and never left. So I'm going to rip the edges off of those and stitch this right on top.
Okay.
So I'm going to repurpose that instead of having to buy like new pillows and new stuffing and get rid of those ugly brown pillows on our couch.
Yeah.
Because I mean, pillows can be so expensive too. You go to Home Goods and it's like $50 for one little tiny pillow. It's like, I don't think so.
Right.
Which I guess this would make it an expensive pillow when you add up your kids.
But we won't go there with that.
No, we're just going to repurpose a pillow so it's nice
There
and
you
chic.
go.
And then the last thing, my last whip is the 4th Circle Studio Sabrina, so Memories of Chaos, you know, the one with the borders.
Mm-hmm.
And I have gotten pretty far in this.
Yes, you have.
I've shown Sabrina before, but I got Salem stitched and I got Aunt Hilda done. Hold on, I can't see around it.
Okay, I'm just, as you move things, it gets fuzzy, just so you know. Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to see.
There, that's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
so there's Aunt Hilda. I like the little guy at the bottom, little Champa.
Yeah.
That's really cute. And so what I've started to do, and you can kind of see it on the top, is find the placement for the next frames based on the frames that I already have. And so
Yeah.
that's really helping. And I think when I go to do the rest of it, it won't be so bad because it's like, oh, okay, well, this is frame 10 or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the next piece I have for that will be this one, which is the Weird Sisters.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be a big one. I'm just looking
Yeah.
at that border. But it'll be fun once I get to it. I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break. I've got a lot of other stuff that I just started that I'm really excited about. And so if I take a little break, I'll get re-excited about this one.
Yes.
So that's it for whips.
Nice.
Did you have a new start?
No. I'm going to start Tuesday with the stitch along for Susan B. sampler. So
Yeah,
that'll be my
so
new start then. Yeah.
There's our little plug-in for that. Susan B. Sampler by, I think it's Stone Stitch Works.
Yes.
That is starting on August 18th, which is coming up. If you join our Facebook group for it, we have a Zoom link that we'll post. You could do a little bit of a meet and greet, maybe start stitching on it, and just sort of get excited. So
Stone Street Stitch. I'm sorry, Stone Street Stitch. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So if you want to join us, we would love to have you. I'm not going to stitch it, but I know Marianne and maybe 20 or so other people are. Even if you don't want to stitch it yourself, feel free to just join and watch. I know I do that with a lot of Facebook groups. I see something I'm like, ooh, pretty, but it's not necessarily for me, and I just kind of sit there and watch other people's progress.
Right.
Right. Do you have a new start?
I do, but before that, I have a FFO finally.
We're on new starts.
New starts then? Okay. Well,
He's so excited about that.
I'm so excited.
Ready
I'm going to prove
finish,
that out. Okay. Well, I'm going to count it. So I have I believe the Bluebirds project.
Yeah.
And let's get that out real quick.
So this is Valerie Piper's Trios called Sitting Pretty. There's a little bit of a glare.
Yeah.
Well, this is the kind of fabric that I've chose for the background. You can see here.
That's pretty.
Yep. And if you look real closely,
It's 14 count Mirage
There
Ada,
we
but
go.
I'm not sure the brand.
you got a couple of stitches in there. Sorry. A little
Oh,
bit
there
of
they
lights.
are. Yeah.
Yeah, there's this.
A
Those
4-stitch new
four
start.
stitches. 4 stitches new
It's-
start, but I
It's a
finally
start.
started it
That counts.
this morning. So hopefully what I can do is pay attention and get this done as far as time, because I know that the last project that I did, I spent a little bit too much time for my liking on it, but I finally got this one started. So I'm excited for this one. This is going to be a nice change of pace for me. So
Yeah, and I think it'll help too because it's on 14 count
Yeah.
instead of 28.
yeah.
So I'll be able to fly by with that.
A little bit of eye relief. I mean, the 28 wasn't
yeah.
too bad. It was just, I mean, after a week or so, I could finally get it. But yeah, this will be nice. Kind of a nice transition back to a little bit more eye relief for myself. So
Yeah.
I'm constantly straining. So yeah, that's
Well,
my
there's
new
no-
part.
As much as you're enjoying the stitching, you might as well use fabric that makes it easy on your eyes, because the longer you can do it without magnification and stuff, the better.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And the secret story behind Shawn's new start is he started that maybe 10 minutes before we started recording today.
maybe.
That's
maybe.
okay.
So he
It's
was
a
real
start.
committed to having a new start for you.
Yes.
So I have a couple new starts this week. We have a giant counter that we're sitting at, and yet we're still spread across the whole thing without enough room. So I've started finally on the Rovaris, I think it's just called Skeletons.
Oh, okay.
And I knew this pattern was going to be really big, but what I've stitched so far is this femur and this leg, and oh man,
Mhm.
it's so big. I started this for World Cross Stitch Day because I figured, I mean, that's the day you should, if you're going to have a new start, that's a good day to have one. So here's what I have.
Oh, okay.
You have a bottom of the hip,
Yeah.
femur. This one is totally crossed so far. This one is only half crossed because I was trying to make sure I get the count right. This one I started, got the leg done, and immediately had to rip it out because it wasn't lined up right with the hip.
Mm.
But you know, I mean, it wouldn't be World Cross Stitch Day if you didn't have some frogging.
Right.
But that'll be the very bottom of the pattern. So at least I have some room to fit. I know it's going to be kind of tight, but I really wanted to use this fabric from Fortnite Fabric Auction because I just thought it would be the right thing. It's a little hard to see in this light, but look at how big that leg is compared to this fabric.
Yeah, it is.
Like, oh my goodness, we're going to have a giant Halloween pattern.
Well, where is the bottom of the coffin that they're in? How much further below that leg, that foot?
Not far at all.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Which is good because that's like about where my fabric is.
Yeah. Okay.
No, so that's going to be a tricky finish. It'll probably just go in a regular frame, I think, because that'll be the easiest. Unless I make another pillow, since I'm clearly thinking about pillows.
Set it out at Halloween.
Exactly. And so then the next thing I started was the Halloween Parade by Cloudsfactory. This is their brand new stitch along. It came, you could buy it, I think, on Monday, and then yesterday they dropped the first pattern. It'll be a 4-part series. And so here, I thought their little banner was cute.
Oh,
And I have a picture of the pattern because I didn't print it out. Hold, please. Let's see if we can show.
oh,
So
that's what it is. Okay.
It'll be a nice banner. It's smaller
Yeah.
than I thought it would be, which you'll see in a minute. But I'm really excited because this border is not very intricate. I mean, there's a little bit of like loops and stuff, but it's not super thick. So I think that'll go well. And so what I started working on was the grass. I couldn't get too much farther with the tree and some of the white Quaker parts because you need the DMC Atoli, which is the sparkly kind, which I've never personally worked with. I've used Krynic and other things, but not the DMC version.
Yeah.
So we might have to make a trip to Michael's today.
Yeah.
Darn.
I know, exactly. I heard that they got their Halloween decorations in, so darn.
Shoot. Darn it.
And so this is where I'm at.
Okay.
I
I
started
like
on
that
the grass.
color.
Yeah, me too. And so it won't go, this is as far as the grass goes, and then I think the border starts maybe right here.
Okay.
And is maybe like a finger width long. So it won't be too big. Here is my big old fabric.
Sweetie, you need to talk a little louder, Fawn. Just a little bit louder.
I know, it's so hard to get used to a new thing.
No, well, I'm sorry to bring it up in the middle of our thing here, but it's better to tell you now than
Oh, no, I don't
be able
mind.
to hear you throughout. So
Yeah, exactly.
there you go.
So this is a really long piece of fabric, as I just showed you, but it won't be very wide. And you had to cut it extra long and extra wide to make a banner, which I've never made. So I think that'll be kind of fun to do.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're stitching this, let me know. I personally don't know anybody else that's stitching it right now, but I would love to see your progress too. I was going to mention this is on 32 or 28 count Picture This Plus Haunted. What they called for was a Picture This Plus that was gray, but I already had this one from when I was trying to choose the Sabrina. So I think it'll look really cool on here. It'll be different too. It won't be the same as everybody else's.
I like the color. I like the
Right.
color.
Yeah, I do too.
And we didn't have to buy it, so.
Yeah.
You already bought it. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't have a finish. You don't have a finish, Marianne, right?
Yes, I
Oh,
do.
you do? Oh,
Yes,
okay.
I do. Oh, yeah. Wonder of wonders. These have been finished for a while. I've got 2 coasters put together. Wait a minute, where's the bottom? Here's the bottom. Here we go. 2 coasters. Can you see
hold
them?
it over the opposite
Other
direction.
side.
I have to cover up Shawn. Okay.
Hold it back just a little bit.
All right. There's one
There you
of
go.
them.
Perfect.
Now we can see it.
That's
Oh, it's so pretty.
Hardanger. Here's the other one, the
Wow.
Hardanger.
Oh,
And this was a class taught by, oh, that one's a little crooked. Well, we're not going to worry about that. This was taught by Sue Pelletieri, one of our guild members. And I really got into it. And so I did some of them a couple of years ago even. I mean, I started them that year and then last year some. So yeah, and then I bought the coasters and
Where do you find the coasters?
very intricate.
ordered them from Herrschners online. Yeah. So, and that one, well, that's just going to have to be in there a little crooked. I'm not redoing it. So, there you go.
Good enough.
You know, I mean, I've laced it all in the back and everything and tried hard to get them all just so. But sometimes it actually looks better upside down, but well, we'll just, there you go. I haven't decided whether I'm going to keep them for me or give them away, give one to somebody as a gift or something like that. And Joe said, oh, we could even hang it on the wall. I said, yeah, we could. I've got another one that's not quite finished. And then a certain cat helped push one of the coasters off the table the other day, and it had been a little weak anyway, so it broke, but it can be re-glued. And this is just like a plastic top. It's not glass. Well, I guess it is glass. Yeah, it's glass covering it. So, and of course you want that because you don't want to get your piece wet. So that's my full finish there.
Nice. That's beautiful. I'll have to look into those because I'm trying to find something to finish my canvas pieces in, which are very square. And so I've heard people talk about Trivets before, or also at the top of a jewelry box, but I never know where to find those sorts of finishes. So I'll have to check out that website.
You might look at Herrschners. You might check out, I don't know if Millhouse, they do frames and stuff.
Oh, okay.
You might even just look up, like some people like to do, I've been thinking about doing a tray. And you can sometimes find those online. If you look up tray for needlework or something like that, you might be able to find it. But Herrschners was a good place for this, and they may have some other things like you're talking about.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to check that out maybe today.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure Craft Gallery, like where the box, for this piece, the box, I got it down there at Craft Gallery, and they had several colors and such. And they're able to get those from a manufacturer, and they sometimes have trays on display or other things too that they could help you. Maybe when we're all down there next Saturday, the 22nd, for our garage sale, their garage sale that our guild is participating in, I'll throw that out there. You might be able to look around and see if there's something there, or they could tell you someplace you could contact.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just thinking.
Yeah.
So another plug real quick, if you are local to the Toledo area,
Right.
Craft Gallery down in Findlay, Ohio is going to have their sidewalk sale.
Yep.
Which you can still go in the store, but there will also be just regular needleworkers like us who are trying to sell things, and it'll usually just be things from people's stash, but I mean, that's always cool with me. And so that'll be August, I think, 22nd, and I think it's from 10 to 4.
10 to 4, yeah.
But if you're local, and we'd love to see you,
Right.
I'll be there too.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's our little plug. But I know Shawn has a finish and he's very, very excited. He can't contain himself over here.
I'm just so excited because it's a long time coming, because I think this project has started, gosh, the original actual design we bought over a year ago, right? And then I did it, and then that was my first project, and I thought I was great at it, but then all my stitches were not the right direction. And She didn't have the heart to tell me right from the
I
get-go.
wanted him to stitch. I didn't care what it looks like.
She's like, oh, it's nice. But anyways, I finally got my owl done.
Yay.
So, yes. So this is the finished product. Let's see if I can.
You got it very good. Pull him back
Yeah.
just a little. Bring him back just a little. There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
So yeah, all complete with all of the different colors. The switch over was at least, gosh, probably a dozen colors. So I really like the eyes, you know, just because there's so much color variation and switch over.
Yeah.
And so the back stitch for me was a little bit difficult just because of the fact that it zigzags and it was only over one stitch. So, you know, to work with something that small for me, going from what 14 count to 28, it was really difficult. But I'm really excited about this blooper project. I can go back to that, but I'm satisfied with it. I mean, you know, I've been thinking about it for, you know, completed for a while, and it's just been a journey, just ripping out all of the stitches and redoing everything, and spending countless hours at night just trying to get it done. So I'm really happy with the finished result.
Do you want me to show how the FFO'd?
Yes, please. So yeah, with my procrastination, it would have looked a little bit different, but I'm glad to at least get it in another finished hoop. But my wife found this really cool trinket, I think it was Hobby Lobby, the other day.
Oh, no,
Michael's. So she's like, I think that'll go really good with your owl. And I agree. So this is the FFO supposed to look like. So
yeah, so he got this project to me, like I said, like 2 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that before we started filming. So I stuck it in this hoop really fast and then didn't get to attach it properly. But we were walking around Michael's and they had a bunch of clearance for fairy garden stuff. And which if you know what a fairy garden is, it's where people will take flower pots and sort of put little decorations and gnomes and things in. And Michael's has a lot of that. So I saw this circle and I was like, oh man, that looks like a hoop. And so I'll be able to hit this in perfectly as soon as I might paint the inside frame. I think that'll help if it's like a darker brown. But I thought that was so cool to have this owl sort of sitting in a forest.
Oh, you mean you might paint the thing with that?
Paint this one like a darker brown.
Okay, yeah.
Because I have the 4-inch hoop and the 5-inch hoop, and the 5 is just too big and the 4 is just too small.
Right. That is really cool. It looks neat with the with that vine. Yeah, and all the greenery around it.
Yeah, and so the color's a little washed out here, but this is actually it's pretty green, so not quite as dead looking as it's coming across on here. But
no, I like
that.
It'll
be fun. So when we were looking, it was just sitting there like that, and of course, being a stitcher, I was like, oh my god, that's a hoop. I'm gonna stick something in it. Now, of course, there was no tag on it, and so it took like 20 minutes for them to figure out what price it was and whatever, but I wasn't walking away because that's a hoop and I need to put something stitchy in it.
I couldn't think of it. It's a grapevine wreath. It's a grapevine. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, so next time you're at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, check out their fairy garden stuff and you never know what you'll find.
That's right. Wow.
So
very
this might
unique.
have to be what we post as our screenshot for today. It's just this owl like this.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
So I'm really, like I said, I'm really satisfied with that just because of like how critical I can be. And this is just like me speaking to all of the men that are like starting cross stitch as well. Like me just being so new to it, I'm really fascinated about like how much time and like effort actually goes into something like this. Just something so small, like relative for me. You know, I'm really like a perfectionist, and if I don't like something, I'll tear it all out, which I have done countless of times. And then I guess, you know, my advice for the men that are really like looking into this kind of art is just like stick with it. You know, there's many times where I've just gotten really down on myself and been hypercritical, and I think it's really therapeutic just being able to like being able to sit down and count the threads and, you know, feel the tension in the string. So I don't know, it's a really big meditative practice for me. And like I said, this owl is really kind of like my forte, just like the design. And so, yeah, all those men out there that want to cross stitch, like, go for it. You know, I thought it was something that was kind of like beyond my expertise level, but just get a couple stitches in and promise, you know, it'll be cakewalk from there, you know, as long as you're finding out what kind of designs and stuff that are right for you. So that's my 2 cents for all those guys out there that are like, this is a women's art. It's like, no, this is something that I found a really good joy in. I can tell that if I'm outside of the gym, that I can kind of have this art where there's kind of is a very calming effect for me. So that's it.
Well, something else, Shawn, actually, the canvas work that Fawn likes to do. I remember reading an article years ago that Rosie Greer, the football player, actually for relaxation would do needlepoint. And the canvas work is similar to, because some of it, the stitches, needlepoint is one sort of thing and is a canvas work. But yeah, Rosie Greer would sit there on an airplane or something like that and do his needlepoint while he was flying somewhere. So that's something you might try someday too. Once you get to swinging into this as much as you're enjoying it, you might eventually try something on a small piece of canvas or something. Because like that, Fawn says she likes that because she doesn't have to do this extra stitch across, you know. So,
right. Yeah.
But enjoy your cross stitch for now, your county cross stitch. I'm proud of it.
Exactly. Thank you. It might be simplistic for all of you others that are more seasoned than I am, but I am very satisfied with how far I've come. You know,
I'm very proud of you, sweetie, and I think you need to just keep on. I'm looking forward to seeing the bluebirds.
Me too.
I am so happy. I'm going to I'm trying to give myself a deadline with this one, probably the next 1 or 2 weeks.
Whoa, really. 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
Feeling pretty confident.
It's going to be on the internet now.
Yeah. Well, and you go for that, kiddo. You go for it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Well, thank you for letting me share.
Yeah. So, Marianne, did you get anything this past couple weeks?
I got the thing from Heather. I didn't buy anything. I did get a gift, as did you.
Yeah, let's do that.
I didn't get haul per se, other than this lovely thing. Our friend Heather in Canada made this for me and made that one for Fawn. And she sent a nice note saying it's a thread catcher, but I actually think it would work well for beads too. You know, it's got a nice feel to the fabric on the lining here. I think beads would hold up on that too, don't you, Fawn?
Yeah, I definitely agree. And thank you, Heather, so much. I'm so surprised. Yeah. I love the foxes.
Yeah.
But I thought it was so funny that we got this sewed thing after I had complained about my project bags. And so the very first thing I did was look at how perfect her stitching is. Like, that is a straight line. It's like mitered perfectly. I was like, oh man, you're showing off, Heather. I see what it is.
Lovely stitching. Look at that.
Yeah.
Heather's got a lot of quilting practice. So, but this is beautiful. It really is. I love the flowers, the corals, the pinks and the golds and stuff that's in mine. I was tickled to death. So,
yeah, me too. These foxes were definitely what I would have chosen if I had walked into a fabric section. So she did it perfectly with her stitching and with her choices.
Yes. And I did get the magazine to Fawn too, Heather. I did get that over to her as well. So
yeah, Marianne tried to keep my magazine.
I know. Canadian Living. I was going to add it to all my other living magazines, you know.
Yeah. So Heather also sent along Canadian Living, which I've never looked through a Canadian Living magazine, so that was kind of fun for me. Yeah. But a couple weeks back, we had talked about Marianne's pies and sort of what were people's favorite desserts. And so Heather had talked about poor man's pudding. And so she sent me poor man's pudding and instructions. So we'll have to try that and have to drop some off to Marianne. And then maybe I'll copy the recipe and drop this back to you and you can file it with your other living stuff.
Oh, that's okay. We'll see. We'll share.
Yeah, exactly. But you can't have my foxes because
No,
I'm not
I
giving
know. I understand. Nope. I'll keep my flowers. You can keep your foxes, you know. That my dogs might think they're for them.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I got to see Marianne's dogs in person the other day. And
So cute.
oh my goodness, they were through the fence. I'm like, I just want to pet you so bad.
And they didn't bark at these two either, which is unusual. They usually will bark at somebody that's new to them. And then they really wanted to get out and jump. I mean, Roscoe's usually one for greeting you by wanting to be petted, and Brian just stands there and he'll go, you know, he'll stand there and look at somebody like, do I let you in or not? So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, they are welcome to jump on me at any time or growl at me.
Yes.
I'm okay, as long as I get to
Okay.
pet them. And then the only other thing I got was a freebie from Inspirations magazine. So back in June, I had ordered 2 kits from them. And I found out after I ordered it that they were on back order, and they are still on back order. So last week they sent me a $10 coupon so I can get any of their digital patterns, which are all $10.
Yeah.
$10 in Australia, so a lot less for us.
Yeah.
But I picked out this one, which is Busy Bee Scissor Fob, and it was in issue 68. So I think they're on issue about to be 108 now. So this is an older one for sure.
Yeah. I don't have that one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty. Yeah.
It's got silk ribbons. I'm not sure if I'll be able to find this bead anymore, but if I can find some sort of beehive bead, that'll be really cool. If not, maybe I'll try to swindle Marianne so I could stitch just that beehive from her pattern.
Yeah, that'd be okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they have a leaf one. There is another one in here, so it's got the scissor fob, and then maybe it's the other side of it.
Oh, pretty.
It has cornflowers and another bee. So this is actually going to be very, very small. I find with all the inspiration stuff, you don't realize how small it is until you look at their sort of embroidery trace over in the back. And I'm not sure if I'm supposed to print this bigger or not, or if this is like actually what it is. And
now that's probably, well, I don't know. That may be the transfer. I would
it might be.
Yeah. Well, is it all listed in centimeters?
Yeah, cut 1 square, 3.5 centimeters.
Okay, so you need to get a ruler that, you know, get your ruler out and it'll have centimeters on one side and inches on the other.
Yep, I'll have to double check. But
yeah.
I was like, how am I going to stitch? Once I got this, I was like, how am I going to do it?
I think it's going to be bigger than that. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. I'll have to figure out and then print it bigger, but it's always so fun. Like the snail pattern, I thought that was going to be so much bigger. And then I go to the back of the magazine and find the tracing for it. It was like, there you go. There's your snail.
Well, we need, I don't know the metric system. They talked about going to that years and years and years ago, and we never did it. I think President Jimmy Carter was going to try and get that into our schools and stuff. And I think the only place you really see it is scientists, you know, if you're taking a lot of science classes and maybe math way up there.
Yeah,
so yeah, you just get your ruler out and you'll be able to figure out what size you're dealing with before you start.
Yeah, exactly. But I won't need much silk ribbon to get this done either way. So
that'll be fun.
Yeah. Well, I guess maybe I should have known because there's a button right there.
Right. And who was it? Somebody told me it's always, you know, you'll notice like Karen had something and somebody else had something. They put a quarter next to it to show the size. And so that's a thing, you can either put a penny or a dime, or like you say, maybe a button if you have an idea what size button that is. That'll give you an idea of what you're dealing with.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe I'll just like go off the grid and I'll blow it up and make it a bigger thing.
Well, you could do
But I
that
could
too.
do that too. So we'll see if I can see it or not. But I really like that one. I thought it was super cute.
Oh yeah.
So for free, like fine. I don't need my stump work kit right away. It could be back ordered. Maybe
Right.
in another 2 months they'll send me another freebie because it's still back ordered.
Well, that works.
Right, exactly. I think the only thing we have left this week is our giveaway from last video.
Well, I do have a vintage.
Oh,
People
that's
always ask me, what's your vintage? I do have a vintage. This is, my mother framed this years ago. This is the handkerchief that my grandmother carried in her wedding in 1926. And it's got the little embroidered flowers right there on the edge. And then it's a lace all the way around the outside. So that's 1926. There you go.
Beautiful.
Wedding handkerchief. And of course, it's the blue. So, something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. But it's just teeny tiny little stitches right there with that little bitty pink flower. I should have, I didn't get the picture out. I actually was looking through old photos to decide who was going to get what in our family. And I did see one of my grandmothers standing beside this chair that sits here in our living room, and she's in her wedding dress and such.
Oh my god.
So maybe I'll dig that out before our next one and just say, oh, this is what I should have had out there for y'all too to see.
Yeah,
So,
that's gorgeous.
yeah. At one time, I think her wedding dress might still be down at my brother's in the cedar chest, along with my mother's wedding dress, which my sister wore in her wedding. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So it had to be, altered just a little bit. But yeah. So there you
That's
go.
such a good idea to frame it. I've never thought
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah. Yeah. It turned out, and it hangs in the back bedroom there usually. So I can go hang it back up now. I had it sitting out since last week. So I've had it protected from Fritz. Fritzy couldn't get to it. So
Good.
I just imagine you like walking down your hallway and just like, oh, I'm going to show this one today, and
Right,
just popping
yeah.
it off the wall and going to the couch.
Exactly. Well, and now you want to I'll show once again our giveaway thing.
Yeah. So we hit 250 subscribers recently, which if you're watching and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. If you are a subscriber, thank you so, so much. And Marianne gratefully found this in her stash, and so we decided to give this away. And it's this really cute sort of snowman wreath type pattern.
Yes. It's called Winter Circle. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I thought that was so cute. So I use commentpicker.com, which is what it seems all the YouTubers that do giveaways use. I put in the link for our video. I didn't record it. I just took a screenshot of the name that came up. And our winner is Ann Link.
Ta-da!
So Ann, you won. I know we talk to you all the time, so definitely just reach out to us when you watch this. I want you to be surprised to hear your name, so I'm not gonna comment on your post or tag you or anything, but yay, so excited for you, our first giveaway.
Congratulations.
And
Yeah.
Ann knows where to reach us, so I can make arrangements to get it to her. I'll wrap it up in some paper, I promise, make it look a little bit more like a gift. So, I'm just not going to go hand this to her. I promise I'll find some nice looking Christmas, wintry paper, something for snow.
Nice. And so what Ann had said was fun projects, great finish for Shawn and Fawn. I am a fan of the Cricut collection, stitching the seasons and Christmas. I would love to add the snowman/snowmen to my collections. Well, there you go, Ann. You get to add it to your collection.
Yeah. And thank you to everybody who commented. We had several people that got the snowman into their comment section. So, and on another note, we really enjoy reading the comments. It just makes my day to go through and read them. And Fawn is usually already replied with a heart or a like or something. And I'm not as quickly, and I have a tendency to write an extended notes on occasion, as She writes a note, but not as extended as I get. So it's just me.
Yep. Yeah, I usually get the notifications right to my phone
Right.
when you post them. So if I'm near my phone, I'm like, "Ooh, what did somebody say?"
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're just so grateful for everybody that watches us, for who keeps coming back, who keeps finding us.
Mhm.
If you have anybody that watches Flosstube, please share us. We would love to share our love of needlework further with a bigger community. But honestly, we're just so happy for the 200, and I think we're at 254 or 255 right now, which
Something like
when we
that.
started, we're like, oh, we're going to have Shawn watch.
And
So
you're
to have, exactly. So to have over 250 of you, it really means the world to us. And so we're glad we could give back a little bit with this tiny giveaway. So like I had mentioned, I'm not sure if we'll be back in 2 weeks, in 1 week, but hit the notification bell. I'll also post on Instagram where we have our channel, so Sanctum Stitching on Instagram, if we are not going to have a video next week, just so we could keep everybody updated.
right.
And
right.
yeah, so thanks again for hanging out with us. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, end of your night, whatever it is that you're watching us at. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Make this a bench instead of 2 chairs.
There you go. There you go.
Too close. Too hot.
Too hot.
Behave yourself. I'm telling you, this is a PG rated show now, you know, or what the thing
My
is.
dad watches this.
Oh dear.
It's not an X rated, you know. Dakota watches this.
Oh my gosh.
He's only 2. Let's see.